What's going on, Blues? Welcome back to Life as an Evertonian. This is our final summary of the 2-2 draw weekend just gone away against Brentford. Um, I've seen a lot of Evertonians being quite critical of the level of performance against Brentford. Um, and I understand it. I think you free flowing players, the likes of Illumin and Keenan Dewsbury all weren't really clicking at the weekend. Defensive frailties right from the first couple of minutes with Jared Branthwaite or Tarkowski not really anticipating the bounce that led to Brentford being awarded a penalty. Yes, Jordan Pickford obviously made a mistake, but Pickford reacts, and that's the way he is. He's a goalkeeper who will try and make amends for the defensive mishap, let's be honest. But, I'm not going to blame Pickford. Just obviously the reading of the game, the bounce, and going 1-0 down after the first 2 to 3 minutes away against Brentford to not concede again, to after around 15 to 20 minutes grow into the game. I thought 20 minutes, 25 minutes of that first half, I thought Everton were really good and they did really well to get the goal. To go in at half time, 1-1. I was happy with it, especially with the start. And obviously, if Everton don't go 1-0 down in the first couple of minutes, it could have been a different game. Look, Everton have not played for like 3 weeks. And the second half display, we was quite within ourselves. Again, it weren't really clicking. However, we still were creating chances. Keenan Dewsbury all turning back on himself to put it on his left peg. Illumin Njai had a shot deflected that looked like it was going to sneak into the bottom bag. And let's be honest, Brentford's goal came from a deflection. Thiago in the right place at the right time, came off like his hip to go 2-1 up. And we could have been defeated. We could have been down and out. And Moyes made some changes just before, just after the change. Everton did go 2-1 down. It came from the right-hand side. Did Tyreek George really track his man? I thought it was really good running from the fullback. I thought he created that all game. I thought Lewis Potter down the left-hand side were instrumental. But, Jake O'Brien did really well down the right-hand side to get that ball into Idrissa Gana Gueye to whip in the cross. And do you know what, Blues? Everton find a way, especially away from home. And yeah, the second half performance weren't up to the levels of the last 20, 25 minutes of the first. But we got the point. We got the all-important point, and I would have took a point before the game. Of course, I would have loved maximum of 6 points, I said in my pre-match, building up to the Brentford game, and obviously the Merseyside derby coming up this weekend, which we're going to cover this week. So I don't think the performance were as bad as some people are saying. I do feel that obviously you're attacking players. It didn't gel as such, like Keenan Dewsbury Hall and Illumin and Jai again. But we found the way, Blues. That is what it's all about, especially when you're not playing well or playing to the best that you can play. Because I do feel Everton did play well in patches at weekend. I really do, especially that first half. I thought Beto had a good first half, got brought off. Would I have kept him on? Maybe. Maybe I wouldn't have made that change. I thought Tyreek George, when he came on, he's definitely going to be chomping at the bit to get more minutes now for Everton. Moyes has said as much, and I said it in my instant match reaction, even before I'd seen David Moyes' press conference or his interview, should I say. And he looks he looks an option, a serious threat down that left-hand side. Obviously can play up top as well. So, it's all food for thought, Blues. There's plenty of options there. I thought Idrissa weren't at his best either. I thought Jimmy tried. I thought Dwight McNeil was steady. Um, and obviously, the defenders as well, they grew into it better. I thought we defended quite well after that. I thought Pickford made a couple of good saves. But I think obviously Kelleher made some really good saves as well. Listen, Brentford are a good side, and you look where Brentford are. They've basically replaced Tottenham. You look where Spurs are, and you look at the level of performance that Brentford played at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, and they beat us quite comfortably. For Everton to get 2 goals that game, um, to get beat 4-2, I do feel they beat us in second gear. I thought Everton were appalling that day, and Brentford were very good. And Everton obviously had to bridge that gap to try and get a result at the weekend. And they did that for me. So, you know, again, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Yes, for me, your likes of Illy and Keenan Dewsbury-Hove, they're flowing a little bit better than that in an attacking sense. Then, Everton can probably come away with the 3 points. Like I said, there was chances for Everton to capitalise in the second half. Um, but so the way for Brentford as well. So for me, I'm glad it's done. It's a game that was a tricky one. I wanted to see if Everton have vastly improved from that Brentford performance. I knew it was going to be a tough game. They're there and thereabouts. You know what I mean? Keith Andrews is doing a really good job. The size of Brentford, no disrespect to them, but they are like a small club that are really punching, above the weight at the minute, and they deserve it. The likes of Thiago, I think what's he got, like 21, 22 goals. Over the last couple of years, they've lost the manager, and I'm giving them credit for, how they're playing. To lose Visser, to lose Mbumo, and to lose Ivan Toney a few seasons ago. Um, the complete strike force has been like ripped apart, and you know, really, really good. And listen, for Everton to go there and get a point, it's a big point. Obviously, next now onto the Merseyside derby. Games are coming thick and fast. We're down to the last 6 games, Blues, and it's all about now. Can Everton get 3 or 4 wins out of that 6? Because if they did, we've got every chance. I can't believe I'm saying it, of Champions League football. Certainly every chance of Europa League football, and definitely a chance of the Conference League. But there is teams in and around us. I thought the results, quite went in our favour this weekend. Chelsea got beat, and Blues has every chance. We've got to, take game by game. It is all about this Merseyside derby for me. I think Everton need a result. We need a win. Let's be honest. I think if we get a win, it's going to put us in a buoyant mindset for the last 5 games of the season. If we can beat Liverpool at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, the first Merseyside derby there, it'll be massive for us this season and as a football club moving forward. So Blues, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel, please, if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to turn on post notifications. Up the toffees, and I'll see you in the next one.